Yo, what's up, guys? It's No Talk Sam here. It's Rain Guys from episode 12 review of ZETMAN, and honestly, I'm literally at a complete loss of words after watching this episode, mainly for two reasons, which I'll explain later in the review. But anyway, let's just get this review going. So I guess I might as well briefly talk about Koga shooting down both his parents, or rather, his mom taking the bullet for his dad, which that completely shocked me because considering the fact this man has you know hasn't been the best dad for Koga and Konoha. Like this man would puts his work way before his his own children, like his own flesh and blood, and he's pretty much the main reason as to why we're Koga and Jin are in the situation of them going against the players because he obviously created them and for entertainment purposes and all this other stuff. So for her to take the bullet for you know her douchebag of a husband was really surprising. But honestly, that was pretty much futile considering the fact it didn't really stop Koga from firing a second bullet to Koga to his head. So, so it's safe to assume that Koga's dad is obviously dead. As for the mother, we find out later in the episode that she actually survived, which it was a relief. It would have been it's a relief because just yeah, it would have been so fucked up for it would have been fucked up if she just died. Like, just because, damn, it really would. It was just, for me personally, it would leave a bad taste in my stomach. So, yeah, just good thing Koga's mom is alive. And then we got Haitani pretty much acting like a douche as always, where he pretty much has put Jin in a position where he would have to he would pretty much would be in his best interest to absorb the red stake because if he doesn't absorb the red stake, he's gonna die, and if he does, then he's gonna become an enemy of mankind and become evil and all this other bullshit Haitani was saying, which obviously that wasn't really the case considering the fact when he did absorb the red stake, nothing really changed from him. Nothing really changed at all. Nothing really changed for Jin. I mean, unless next episode he randomly becomes evil, which that would be so dumb. Then yeah, there's really nothing wrong with Jin. So that's that. And now I'm going to address pretty much the two parts of this episode which just completely annoyed slash pissed me off. Like, and the first one and the main one being Hanako being a player. That's really made no sense whatsoever because up until now we hadn't gotten any indication that Hanako might have been a player because up until this point she seemed pretty damn human in my opinion. We even saw the bitch's parents. So if Hanako is a player, does that make her parents players too? Because because I don't see how in the hell Hanako could be a player because like I said we hadn't had any indication that she might could possibly could be even a player. So for the writers to just randomly make Hanako into a player is just it's fucking retarded. Like because like because honestly I would totally believe that Hanako was a player if we hadn't seen her parents because we all know that she doesn't get along with her parents. Even back in episode 8 when she briefly went back home to her parents, she couldn't stand it. So yeah, so I don't know why the fuck they decided to just randomly make Hanako a player. And I think the only reason why I could see them making Hanako into a player is just to fuck with Jin because now we know obviously Jin's going to have to kill her because 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 Jin can't because if he doesn't kill her then he's not going to turn back into his normal self. So so obviously we all know that Hanako is going to die next episode. So and then the other thing I did not understand at all was Haitani regressing into his true form, which some of you guys might say that oh that's because Jin exposed them to the ring of exposure. Yeah, but if you remember all the way back to episode 7 when he took out Shu and he was like, and Jin was like, who the hell are you? And he pretty much came and pretty much he tried to shine and he shined the ring of exposure at Haitani and nothing happened. And he was like, the reason why the ring of exposure won't work on me is because I'm a special type of player. So yeah, so that was Haitani's excuse of not regressing after being exposed to the ring of exposure. But for some weird reason, this in this episode, he now he now decides to regress. So I didn't get that part either. Like because he said of himself that he was a special type of player to the point where the ring of exposure does not work on has no absolutely no effect on him. So really, so and just yeah that just that honestly just I mean it didn't annoy me as much as as Hanako being a player, but it just but at the same time it really didn't make that much sense either. So honestly, that's really all I gotta say about this episode in terms of this episode review. In terms of my predictions as to what's going to happen in the final episode, I know for a fact Haitani and Hanako are going to die because Haitani is the bad guy and Hanako is a player, and if he doesn't kill both of them, then he can revert back to his human form, obviously. And I have a feeling either Kogo or Jin are gonna die because it's just I don't know. If they both come out alive in the next episode, then that's cool. But for some reason, I have a feeling either Jin or Koga is gonna die for some weird reason. So those are just my brief predictions. Even though I know, the part about Hanako and Haitani dying are bound to happen. So, and I can have and I have a feeling that this series isn't going to have like a happy ending considering the fact it's ascending, but you know just I mean I don't know. Like I really don't expect if they do have a happy ending, then that'll be fucking awesome. But if they don't, then I wouldn't be too surprised because it's just why did they make Hanako into a player? Like why? Why? Like I mean, and honestly, I hope this is it. I hope this is going to be explained. Suddenly turning Hanako into a player, but I doubt it isn't. I really doubt it isn't. So because it's the last fucking episode, so I don't think the writers are really going to put in all. I don't think the writers are even going to put their all into explaining the shit that occurred in this episode in, in the final episode. So yeah, and also before I end this review off, one thing I want to mention is I like, and I think this has started since I think episode 10 where the facial expressions for the characters pretty much look exactly the same in the manga. So that's and yeah, because I think like I said, it's been going on since episode 10. So that's one thing I wanted to comment about. Like I like how they're actually using the the exact same facial expressions that are used in the manga for anyone who reads the manga because like there were a good amount of expressions that looked the exact same in the manga. So um yeah, so I found that kind of interesting. Anyway, that's that's pretty much all I gotta say about this episode. If I have to give this episode a grade, I give this episode a 6.5 out of 10 because honestly, if it weren't for those two, if it weren't for Hanako being a player and Haitani suddenly now reverting back into his player form, then I think this episode would have been solid if it weren't for those two fuck ups that the writers you know or producers or whoever decided to make Hanako a player. You know, yeah, just no, like just no, because I really don't. Yeah, it's safe to say I don't think the writers are even putting their all into this anymore because honestly, it's the second to last episode. So anyway, that's all I gotta say. What do you put any comments regarding this episode or your predictions for next week's episode? So anyway, this is Seasonal Talk Sam. Thank you guys for watching and peace.